the last time we were working, remember I'm starting to work on the picture that's a double exposure. It looks like two pictures were taken over top of one another. So I have this original layer that's the person that I erased the background out of. Remember, to erase things out of the picture, you're using the scissors tool to cut out the background. And then I have this picture of the cityscape that I use that same scissors tool. And then I have the blend mode set to soft light, and I adjusted the transparency on the picture to where I wanted it. The next thing I'm going to do is add, I think maybe a bird flying. So I found a picture that I saved earlier. Remember, to add a picture that you've saved on your computer in, you go to your layers panel, click the plus button. I'm going to click on image, and then I have this picture of a parrot that I want to add. I'm going to click open, and now resize this to where I want it to be. If when you add a layer, you can't see your picture or it's overlapped by different things, remember your layers panel over here, whatever's up at the top is what you are going to see first. So if you need to rearrange the order of your layers, you can just click on that layer and drag it where you need it to be. And then I found a picture with a solid white background. So when I go in to change my blend mode, if I switch it to multiply, it's actually going to automatically make it look like that white background has been erased anywhere that I have a picture. So you can see if it's outside of the face, you can see the white background, but as long as it's overlapping another picture that I have, then it does not need the background erased. The program kind of automatically erases that background for me. And again, that's just because there was that white background and I used this multiply blend mode, which is just adding all of the different colors together. And I can still play with the transparency of my picture to make it look like it's kind of blending into my other picture. I can play around with where I want it. If I want to choose a different blend mode, I still could. But all of the other blend modes, you'll see I would have to work on erasing that white background. This multiply is the only one that's going to kind of automatically erase that white layer for you. And one way to find pictures that have that white background was I went on Flickr, and when I did a search, up here at the top, you'll see the different colors for your picture. I simply clicked on the white one so that it chose a picture that is mostly white in the background. I think Google has a similar filter. So if you search for a picture on Google, I think if you go into the tools, you can change your color to search for something that's primarily white, and that should give you pictures that at least some of them have a white background. It doesn't necessarily work perfectly, but it can be an easier way to get the background erased if you can find what you want with a white background. So like this picture of the bird with the white background, I could save it to my Google Drive. Then in Pixlr, click that plus button on my layers panel. I want to add an image. Find that picture I just downloaded. And the same way that I changed the blend mode on that parrot picture, I can change this blend mode. And remember, it's this multiply one is what will automatically take out that white background, and it will also make your picture somewhat see-through. Another thing, just to refresh, I'm trying to grab a hold of this bird and it keeps grabbing this building instead. You can either choose to lock the layers that you don't want to move. So I could go over here into the menu and click locked instead of unlocked. And then I can easily click on my bird and move it without accidentally clicking on the building. Or if you don't want to lock your layers, up in the settings, you can turn off auto select. And then whatever layer you click on in your layers panel is the layer that it's going to move when you click and drag your mouse on your picture. So again, either lock the layers that you don't want to move if you're having issues with them, or up in the settings, you can turn off this auto select and just make sure that you're on the correct layer on the right-hand side. I would like you guys to make a variety of images into your one final image. So think of multiple pictures that you can add, not just one picture that you can add to your main image, so that you're slowly building up the composition and not just having 2 images to quickly get the project done. Are there any questions? All right, then I'm going to give you guys the rest of the period to work. When you are finished, remember you need to save your picture as a PXD and always save it to your Google Drive. Don't just leave it in your downloads. So a PXD, you click download. On your Chromebook, it will probably come up in your bottom right-hand corner. You're going to say that you want to show in folder, and then make sure that you are dragging that file that you just saved into the Google Drive folder from the beginning of the year. That way you will not lose any of your artwork.